Once in a quiet village tucked between hills and rivers, there lived an old lady who everyone simply called Grandma Mei. She wasn't famous, she wasn't rich, but everyone knew her, not just because she was kind and wise, but because she was always happy. Rain or shine, she greeted people with a smile. When others were worried, she stayed calm. When bad things happened, she didn't complain. Instead, she listened, comforted, and shared stories that made people feel better. Everyone in the village loved her, and many secretly wondered how she did it. How could someone be so peaceful, so full of joy, no matter what life threw at them? One day, a young man named Toma finally asked her. He'd been struggling with his own problems and couldn't understand how she kept her joy. He said, "Grandma Mei, I don't get it. You're always smiling. Don't you ever feel sad? Doesn't anything ever bring you down?" She gave him a gentle smile, the kind that feels like warm tea on a cold morning, and said, "My dear boy, life is never just one thing. Some days are bright, some are dark. But I learned a long time ago, happiness isn't about what's happening outside. It starts from within." Toma frowned. But what does that even mean? If something bad happens, how can you still be happy? So she invited him to sit, and for the first time, she shared a story from her past. "When I was your age," she began, "I had a husband I loved dearly. We had 2 children, and though we didn't have much, we had each other, and we were happy. But then, one day, my husband fell ill. We didn't have the money for medicine. We tried everything, and still he passed away. I was heartbroken. For weeks, I could barely get out of bed. I cried every night. I thought happiness had left my life forever." She paused. Toma said nothing, just listened, eyes wide. "From that point on," she said, "every morning, I made it a habit. I'd tell myself, today is a new day. I will find one thing, just one, to be thankful for." Some days it was simple. The warmth of the sun, a bird singing, the sound of my children laughing. Other days it was harder, but I kept looking, and slowly, my heart began to heal. Toma asked her, "But what if something terrible happens again? What if life just keeps getting harder?" She nodded, as if she'd expected the question. Then I remind myself, everything in life is temporary. The pain, the struggle, the bad times, they all pass. Just like the seasons, when the storms come, I don't pretend they're not real. I just don't let them steal all the light. I focus on what I still have, my breath, my memories, my chance to begin again. That's where happiness comes from. It's not what life gives you, it's what you choose to see. Toma thanked her and left, but something in him had changed. That night, he looked up at the stars and smiled for the first time in weeks. He thought, today was hard, but I'm still here. That has to count for something. And from that day on, he tried her advice. Each morning he looked for one good thing. Some days it was small, the smell of bread, a bird on a rooftop. But little by little, he felt lighter, stronger, happier. Word of Grandma Mei's story spread. More people in the village began to see the world differently. They learned not to wait for life to be perfect, but to find beauty in the imperfect, joy in the ordinary. And slowly, the whole village became a brighter place, not because life got easier, but because people chose to look for the light, even in the dark. Happiness isn't luck. It's not a gift, it's a choice. Yes, life gets hard. People leave, things break, dreams fall apart. But within all of that, there are still reasons to smile. Still sparks of light. Still life. The real secret. Look for the good. Every day, even if it's small. Because when you choose to see the beauty in life, even in its brokenness, that's when happiness finds you.